switch between VFO and crystal, and make sure there's a little piece of metal to keep it on VFO. I got an R4A over here, and twice now, just moving it and picking it up, my hand accidentally hits that switch, and it goes to crystal. It won't receive a thing, and it finally realized it's a doggone switch. So now I put electrical tape on it to keep it, because most of them have a little metal thing that screws in to keep that from happening, but the R4A that I have doesn't. And it's bit me twice, where I've been chasing my tail, realized it's gotten to the point now where I automatically look, what does the switch on the side do? So, anyway, I'm glad at least the R4B's got this little metal thing that keeps you from doing that. It forces it, and in order to use the crystal, you got to take that metal thing off, which is a great idea. Let's go down the list to Sam. KF4TXQ. Sam, how about your comments for the prenet? This is N4OZI.
Okay, Alan, N4OZI and the prenet. Kilo Fox 4 Tango X-ray Quebec, Dadeville, Alabama, returning. Well, everything's copacetic over here. The sun's going down, and I hope the sun stops playing with the propagation. But anyway, that's just the way it is. Summertime conditions, and who knows? But you're sounding good, Alan. Everybody's sounding good. Couldn't quite hear Don down there. He was below the noise level here, but anyway, he's doing pretty good. I heard Matt great. I heard, of course, Dr. Ron real well. I heard Eddie Brown come in there, and all kinds of folks. Looking forward to it. So back to you there, Alan. Doing a fine job with the prenet. N4OZI and the prenet, KF4TXQ.
Okay, Sam. KF4TXQ in the prenet. It's N4OZI. Well, coming in pretty good, pretty good. Hopefully we have a good night tonight. Don't have any static crashes, and that's good. And I'm not seeing a lot of QSB, so excuse me. That seems like that's going to work out fine. All right, as we go down the list, we'll pick up Dr. John, and then we'll take a standby for additional check-ins. So let's pick up Dr. John, and then we'll take our standby. KN4 Mike Echo. How about your comments for the prenet? This is N4OZI.
Well, thank you, Alan. N4OZI and the prenet, KN4 Mike Echo. Copying everybody pretty well. Not much more to add. Thanks for the comments on the Glow Champion 350 run, and I think Leo was probably very gratified to have the. I know he was feted 60 years after his heyday. At least I guess he felt some appreciation, but he did contribute to the ham hobby. No question about it, by giving people affordable rigs. So more power to him. I would think that's a good thing. Not much else at the moment. Looking forward to the net, and I will pass it back to you. N4OZI, KN4, Mike Echo.
Okay, Dr. John. KN4ME is N4OZI. You know, I've never had any of his transmitters or anything, but I've seen them. But yeah, you're right. If you can make them slightly more affordable, that does bring more people into the hobby. So that was good back in those days. All right, let's almost take a standby for check-in. We'll pick up for Norm W7 IUC, but we pick them up. Let's see if there's any other check-ins. Any other check-ins for the SAMRC Swapping Fellowship prenet? Come now.
K4 BKC.
Okay, I got Bob, K4BKC, and then there was somebody in the background. Who else was that?
KW4TV, Kilo Whiskey 4, Tango Whiskey.
All right, KW4TV, Manuel, got you in there. Any other check-ins?
This is Kilo 4 Hotel Uniform Mike, K4HUM.
All right, got Lenny in there, K4HUM. I thought I heard you in there, Lenny. So that's got you in there. Any other check-ins? All right, we're caught up there. Let's see if we can pick up Norm and get his comments for the prenet. W7IUC, how about your comments for the prenet? This is N40ZI. Maybe somebody can give a relay and kind of see if we can get them. Yep, no takers, but we'll see if we can get him on the next go-around. He's on the list. Maybe he stepped away. Let's go to Mac, W4AX. How about your comments for the prenet? This is N40ZI.
All right, N40ZI, W4AX. I have no idea what happened with the 20V. it was just working along just perfectly. It's never given me a hiccup, and it wouldn't key when I went to key, so I don't know. Anyway, I reset everything, and it seems to be okay now, and the meters look okay, so I guess I'll call it good for now. Anyway, I'm on the 20V tonight, listing on an R390A, running 375 watts of carrier. In my project, my big project today was beaming Wi-Fi out over a dish antenna to my remote shack out here. It's a 34 dBi antenna. It's a dish, and it's doing a good job out here. So the computer and other things are running off that beam. I think it's good for a couple of miles, but in this case, it only has to go about 400 feet. Back over to you, Alan. N40ZI, W4AX.
Okay, Mac. Well, sounds real good. Whatever you did took care of it. W4AX in the prenet. It's N40ZI. All right. Again, we wondered what happened to you, but you're back, so that's working out fine. We'll pick up Eddie, and then we'll take another standby for check-ins before we get Glenn. So, Eddie, how about your comments for the prenet? KA4AMI. This is N40ZI.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, Alan. Good to hear you coming in good down here. And hello, Stan. I heard him in there. And Sam, Dr. Ron, Dr. John, Max, and Lanny. I heard Lanny check in. And I'm hearing everybody but Norm. I don't know. I normally hear Norm with his low power, but I can't pull him through tonight. But I got everybody else pretty good so far. But we're just chilling it here in Williamson, trying to beat the heat. The older I get, the more it affects me. And I try not to stay outside too long. But anyway, on the Ranger tonight with SB220, listening on SX73. And the signals all the signals I'm hearing sound really good. And some more power than the others, but they're all coming in great. So back to you, Alan. Thank you for being there. N40ZI. This is KA4AMI Williamson.
Okay, Eddie. KA4AMI. And the prenets, N40ZI. Pardon me while I change rigs. I'm having a computer problem on the Flex, and that's the second time it froze up on me while you were talking. So I'm realizing this is not going to work tonight, so we're switched over to the backup system. It's a good thing it's tuned up. So hopefully I'm making it out. Looks like the power's working out and everything. Let's see. Let's go to Glenn, and then we'll pick up some additional check-ins. N4AK, how about your comments for the prenets? N40ZI.
Okay, N40ZI, the prenet, November 4 Alpha Kilo. And Alan, I need a critical report. This is a brand new SB221. And Eddie, I need your comments also on how much power you're running. I've got this loaded about 175 watts. So let me know what you're running. I'm curious. Can you tell me right quick? Over.
Well, I'm feeding the SB220. I believe that question was for me. This is KA4AMI. I'm powering about 20 watts into a SB220, and it's right at 240 watts.
All right, 240. All right, I'm loaded a little louder, and I hope the audio sounds okay because it's brand new. Curious thing, this thing was purchased in 1982, and it was about 90% completed, but not completed. So I picked it up and found some wiring arrows and put some Harbot mods in it. So I'm trying to learn how to operate it. I'm driving it with a Python 756 Pro 3. So glad to know about what power range I can run with this thing. I can tell right now it's a good amp for the winter time. So anyway, it's a beautiful amp. Like I say, this one's never been used till now. The guy never finished it. So, Alan, give me a report. N4OZI, N4AK.
Okay, Glenn. N4AK in the prenet. It's N4OZI. Well, it's sounding pretty good. It's doing pretty good. It's kind of hard for me to know because I've just switched radios, and so I'm kind of in an unusual setup here. I'm running the 7300 by itself, driving the Blue Ameritron. Usually I run it with the RSPDX, but I had to go and switch because the computer was backing up on me, and but it sounds fine, and it's got a good, strong signal, so I think you're going to do fine with it. And like Eddie says, you may be running a little bit light. You may get even more out of it, but that sounds like a really good find, Glenn, so glad you got it. Okay, we promised to do a standby for additional check-ins before we pick up Bob, K4BKC. Before we get him, let's see if we have any other check-ins for the SAMRC Swap and Fellowship Prenet. Come now. All right, I'm not hearing any, so we'll go to you, Bob. K4BKC in the Prenet. This is N4OZI. K4BKC, you there?
N4OZI, did you call K4BKC?
Yeah, QSL. Hopefully you can hear me on the backup rig. I'm on the backup rig and the backup amp. It's your time for comments. This is N4OZI.
Okay, Alan, I just missed a word or two there. N4OZI, this is K4BKC. Yeah, that rig did drop your signal down quite a bit, and propagation's not great yet here. So, sure good to hear everybody this afternoon. I heard Norm earlier, but he didn't come back when you called him, so I'm not sure what happened. He may have had to step away. But, Glenn, the SB221 sounds excellent here in Columbia. Your power level there is very adequate, and your audio sounds good. So kudos for getting that on the air. And I'm on the usual rig, the 20V2, and listening on the R390. And it's nice to not have any static crashes. So back to you, Alan. N4OZI and the Prenet, K4BKC. Thanks for picking me up.
Okay, Bob. K4BKC and the Prenet, N4OZI. Well, I'm putting out just about the same amount of power as the other setup, but maybe the audio is a little different. So we'll continue along. I got this computer rebooted, and we'll try to see if we can go back to it during the net. But in the next 10 minutes, I think this will get me going. Let's go down to Manuel, KW4TV. Manuel, hopefully you can copy me and give us your comments for the Prenet. This is N4OZI.
W4OZI, KW4TV. Thank you, Alan. Thank you for picking me up. We're just fighting the heat. It's been rather hot around this place. I don't know. Looks like it's going to be a rough summer. But everything's going pretty good, and my daughter's still taking the treatments. Everything's coming along real good, so got my fingers crossed with her, and appreciate you picking me up, and I won't hold you up. It's hard to hear out there. I hear most everybody, but it's tough. Just say hello to everybody, and again, thank you, Alan, for picking me up. KW4TV.
Okay, Manuel. KW4TV and the prenet, the N4OZI. Well, you're coming in, and I know it's hot down there. It's been cool up here, but we know that's going to be ending soon. Well, I did promise to take a standby for check-ins. Let's see if we get any more check-ins for the SAMRC Swap and Fellowship prenet. Any other check-ins come now? Okay, not hearing any. Let's run it over to Lenny, K4HUM. Lenny, how about your comments for the prenet? This is N4OZI.
N4OZI in the group K4HUM, and I'm hearing everybody fairly well. It was a beautiful morning. Holy cow, it was in just lower 60s. In fact, I think it was about 59 kind of when I kind of started roaming around about 7 this morning, but it's got warm pretty darn quick, and I think this weekend's going to be almost 100. I think we're going to get into a 96-day and whatever, but so be it. It's what it is. We had a beautiful spring, though, for a change. So the first one I remember for many a year, where it didn't go from sub-zero to extra warm overnight. But anyway, thanks for calling the prenet, Alan, and like I said, I'm hearing everybody fairly good. I think as time rolls on, I think you're gonna have a good net on here, folks. I'll leave it at that. N4HUM, back to N4OZI, waiting on the net.
Okay, Lenny. Well, very good. K4HUM, this is N4OZI. And, yeah, you got a good strong signal, and it's going to get hot. It's going to get definitely hot. It's going to be a scorcher this summer, I think, but that's what they usually are, and we'll get through it as best we can. Let's take a standby, see if we have any other additional check-ins. Any other additional check-ins for the SAMRC Swap and Fellowship prenet? Come down. Okay, I'm going to need a relay on that one. Can somebody relay that one in the background?
Yeah, it was WFL.
Okay, let me get Richard down there. W4WFL. Okay, Richard. So I got you down there. Any other check-ins? I guess not. Let's see if we can pick up Richard. Richard, while we got you, let's see if we can get your comments out of you. W4WFL, it's N4OZI. Okay, Richard, W4WFL, it's N4OZI. I could see your carrier, but I didn't quite get much of that. It's a little different running this setup for the net, but that's actually good to get a little experience with this 7300 just by itself. Haven't used it in this kind of configuration in a while, so it's a bit odd. But it is working, and it is a good standby running the Blue Americon, the one you helped me get, Stan. So, Stan, how about some comments for the prenet before we try to get additional check-ins? W4KR, coming out on our signal sounding.
Okay, Alan. N4OZI. Prenet Operator Supreme, W4KR. Well, two reports to it, Alan. It sounds good, sounds real good, and it looks good on the pan adapter. It's just about 4.5 kcs wide on either side. It's perfect. Looks perfect. Looks real clean, and the pattern fills out quite nicely on the pan adapter. Let's see here. What do we know? Temperature here right now is 80 degrees. It got up around 86 or so today. The humidity wasn't too bad, but in fact it was kind of pleasant to be outside for a little bit. Speaking of transmitters that came out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, my first transmitter was a Globe Scout 40A, and every hamfest I go to, I look around to see if I can find one, but I haven't found one yet. So maybe that will yet to have happen. Rest of the parts for the RCA CR88 have come in, so I'm cranking along, getting some capacitors and a few resistors replaced. So it's coming along. Also had a conversation with my son John over in London. We had a brief Skype conversation just after noon, and he's found a shipper to send the cabinet over here. DHL or FedEx Express or FedEx wanted an awful lot of money to fly it over here, and we found a shipper. Taking about 5 weeks to get here, but that's okay. There's no hurry. So it'll be on its way next week. So let's see, what else do I know? I think that's about it for right now. Copying everybody else. As I said, Alan, the 7300 sounds good. And if I were, if this thing were to crap out, the fallback position here would be a 7300 and my Kenwood 922 amp. So back to you. N4OZI, W4KR.
Okay, Stan, W4KR and the prenet is N4OZI. Well, it's driving that amp you helped pick up for me. I call it the Blue Ameritron, using 4 572Bs in it. And I usually always, if I'm calling the net, I always turn this up and the amp and get it ready, and then switch over to the flex in case there's any trouble. And the one, the flex, it's the PC was freezing up. It usually does that when there's a update, but that's why I got it there, just in case. I've had to go to it once before when the sound system crapped out, and the flex was running and the PC was running, but there was no sound. That's not a good position to be in. So anyway, good to see that it's working. It's just a bit unusual. I usually don't run it quite in this configuration, but it's working, and that's its purpose. We're coming up to the top of the hour. We'll turn it over to you again, but it sounds like we got pretty much everybody we're going to get at this point. So appreciate everybody's help on the prenet, and appreciate your patience as I have to go to the backup rig, but it came through for us. So with that, I'm going to turn it on up to you, Stan, and you can pick it up, and we'll give it to you. W4KR to take it. This is N4OZI.
All right, Alan. N4OZI. This W4KR. Good evening, everybody. Glad to hear everybody. Band conditions are pretty good. A little bit of QSB that pops up and down, but no static, thankfully. So if usually when when we've got a high static level, if the QSB gets in people's way. But that's not the situation tonight. And Manuel, you were good copy. Both you and Richard were good copy up here. So far so good. Let's see. This is the Southeastern AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net for Tuesday evening. It starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Eastern Daylight Time. And with the pre-net that begins half an hour early. We meet every Tuesday here, as I said, and we operate as a controlled net, so we'd appreciate if you need to get to somebody as the net goes on, clue in the net control, and we'll stand by and make space for you. For those that don't know, I think most everybody that's here tonight are members or long-term checker-inners to the association. You're aware of our website, w4ami.org. That's handled, produced, and webmastered by Dr. Ron Johnson, WB4GWA, who's also our trustee, club trustee. And Ron, fantastic job with that activity, and keep on a-trucking with it. To Ron, for your information, the IFR manual arrived today. That sucker's 2.5 inches thick, so I think there's a lot of reading for this operator to be going. I'm not sure when exactly we're going back up to Michigan, but sometime latter part of this summer, and I'll pick the unit up when I get it, and I should know how to operate it by then. Okay, from now on, we're going to be known as W4AMI, which is the club call. And first thing we're going to do is take a standby to see if we have any newcomers to the net tonight. If you did not check in with the pre-net, if you did check in with the pre-net, we've got you on the list. If you didn't, come on right now. W4AMI listening.
W4OLJ.
Okay, Virgil, got you. You're banging in tonight, so the propagation gods are with us after all. Anybody else? Okay, I didn't hear anybody else. So we'll begin down the list. We'll start with our club officers as we normally do. First station up is our president, Bob, K4BKC. Go ahead, sir. W4AMI.
Well, W4AMI and the net, this is K4BKC. Well, good evening, Stan, and good evening to everyone that's on the net tonight. It's always a pleasure to welcome everyone. We appreciate you taking time to stop in and spending time with us on the SAMRC Swap and Fellowship Net. Let's see, we continue to thoughts and prayers for Manuel KW4TV and his family and his daughter Amanda. Manuel, it's good to hear the good report on Amanda. I hope that continues for sure. And we want to continue to remember W4YL, Susan Mentone, W4CT's widow, as she recovers from her hip surgery. The Atlanta Hamfest is coming up August the 17th and 18th, and that's coming up soon, so need to put that on our calendar. And the Knoxville Hamfest is this weekend, the 15th of June, and that is at the Wallace Memorial Baptist Church, 701 Merchant Drive, Knoxville. So I know we have several people that are in this area that might like to attend that. Well, thanks, Alan, for the pre-net, and thank you, Stan, for doing the net. Always a pleasure to hear you both. Back to you, Stan. Thanks for picking me up. W4AMI, K4BKC.
Okay, Bob, thank you. Thank you. Good signal here tonight. Good to hear you. Thank you for coming aboard. Next station up is our Vice President, Mr. Sam, KF4TXQ, come on in here. W4AMI listening for you.
All right, W4AMI and the SAMRC South and South Net. Got a great net going here. And we're just working around. Miss Mary is doing pretty well today. That's why I'm proud to hear that Manuel's daughter, Amanda, is doing better. That's a blessing, no doubt about it. If anybody who's under the weather, clean her health again. If you ain't got your health, you ain't got much longer. So there you go. I'm just struggling around here with my arthritis. Arthritis is not cold. Well, Roger came in with that rock question signal. He sounded mighty good. But I'm talking pretty well everybody. The high-pin curtain's not bothering me at all. So, well, I've heard Manuel and WFL, so those other folks down there. So, anyway, I hope everybody is doing well and looking forward to certain time and some good news later on. So back to you there, Stan. You're doing a great job. W4AMI and the Southeastern AM Radio Crow Swap and Fellowship Net. This is Kilo 4 Tango X-Ray Papa. And the 430 S and the Little Horse amplifier. Over.
Okay, thank you, Sam. 4TXQ, this W4K. Oops. Let me get. There we go. Now we got it. My foot keeps got a different pair of shoes on today. I've got my penny loafers on this afternoon, and my foot keeps sliding off the foot pedal. We'll take a standby. Forgot to mention at the up there in the preamble that about quarter after we'll take a standby. So anybody wishing to that's come aboard after we got started, if you hold off till then, we'll pick you up. Let's see. Next up is WB4GWA. Ron, your transmission. Go ahead.
Okay, Stan, 4AMI from WB4GWA in Concord. Good evening to you and to everybody else on the net tonight. We're copying everybody pretty well. Bob, you came way up that time, just barreling in here, and Virgil, you're always strong in here too. So really good signals tonight in Concord, copying everybody really well. And we're just cruising along here, working on projects, and hopefully in the next couple of days, the Globe King will be in here, and I can tinkle with something I have never tinkered with before. I have never had a Globe King 500A, but guy called me and said, "I got one for you if you want it." Well, I said, "Well, bring it over." And so I'll jump into it and see what we got. Maybe one of those things where I just say, why did I do this? But anyway, looking forward to playing with that thing a little bit, seeing what's happening. On Millie tonight and listening on the SX73, all good signals all the way around. Thanks, Alan, for a great job on the prenet, as you always do. And thank you, Stan, for your masterful job as MC tonight. W4AMI from WB4GWA in Concord.
Okay, Ron, thank you. Good evening to you, sir. I had a Globe King 500C at one time. I wish I'd have kept it. I ultimately sold it, but I wish I would have kept it because it was pretty good box. One thing I noticed with mine, Ron, the VFO are remarkably stable, very, very stable VFO, which is great. Okay, next up is our treasurer, Eddie Brown. Your transmission, K4AMI, W4AMI. Go ahead, Eddie.
Okay, W4AMI. This is KA4AMI. Well, good afternoon, good evening, Stan, and as always, thank you and Alan for taking care of the festivities tonight. and everybody's sounding really good. For some reason, I-10 corridor is up over here. I can't hear anybody down there. So if you hear me, hello down there to Richard and Manuel, but I can't hear them at all. But anyway, that's the way it is over here on the Dixon Circle. I was going to comment on Lanny. Your audio and signal's the best I've heard it ever over here tonight. So whatever you got going tonight is a real good setup there. And thank you for everybody that checked in. Man, what a wonderful group we got tonight. And everybody's sounding good as usual. Bob, I have a message from Miss D, said tell you and Tammy hello. Hope you're all well. So I passed it on, and I feel the same way. My projects here are mostly honeydew related right now, and I'm stringing along with an antenna project I'm working on out here. It's kind of experimental, but we'll see how it plays out. Let's see. I'm on the People's Radio tonight, listening on the SX73 and on the end-fed half-wave antenna with a little help from the SB220. And the question came up about how much power you can run with the SB220. Keep it under 250 watts if you can, because that's you've got you got it pushed up there pretty close to the limits of those tubes right there. So you go much further, you'll burn your tubes up. That's the way I look at it anyway. So, and it seems to work out all right. These been in here for a long time, and they knock on wood, they are doing well. I've got another one over here too that does the same thing. I don't drive it as hard. It runs with a DX60, so it leaves you a little headroom anyway. Okay, that's about it from here. And again, good to hear everybody. And 7-3 for now. Thank you, Stan. You sound great. W4AMI. This is KA4AMI.
Okay, Eddie. This is W4AMI. Eddie, I don't like to run the 922 very, very, very hard on AM either, because the fan is way up on top of the chassis and blowing horizontally across the tubes, but it doesn't cool the tube seals down at the bottom very, very effectively. That's the one fault with that, and there's no room down there to put another fan in down below. So anyway, okay, this is the Southeast AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net. Right after we're going to take a break right now, and right after that, the next station will be N4OZI. So, as I said, we'll take standby for anyone wishing to join. Come on in, W4AMI listening. Okay, didn't hear anybody, so we'll move on. Alan, come on in. N4OZI, W4AMI.
Okay, Stan, W4AMI. This is N4OZI back on the flex. Rebooted the PC. I just think it just didn't come up cleanly, and it was locking up, so rebooted. But we'll give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's happening. Waynesville, North Carolina has a ham fest on July 20th. We'll be at that. We'll take the camera on the drone and take some pictures and put it on the QRZ page. That's Waynesville, North Carolina, just west of Asheville on July 20th. And of course, Huntsville is August 17th and 18th. Will be there. And of course, Shelby is coming up on Labor Day weekend, as always. And then, of course, the North Fulton group has a little swap meet sometime in September. I think it's September 17th, but I'm still trying to get confirmation on that. But that's a really good little swap meet. That's where I got my little Swan, and that was pretty good. Working on a non-AM radio, a KWM2 Collins round emblem KWM2. Had it for months, hadn't done a thing. Worked on it this weekend, got it operational a couple of nights ago, and it's been doing beautifully. That's an impressive rig, that really is. And there's a picture of it on my QRZ page. About halfway down, a little past halfway down, you'll see the picture of the round emblem KWM2, and that's what I've been concentrating on. And I got some other projects around here at the moment, but I haven't quite figured out what is next that I'm going to get to. But that's what we've been doing. Also working on the Drake stuff. It needed deoxing again, and that brought the transmitter back alive. I haven't checked the receiver yet, but I'm pretty sure it's fine. But I need to get on that and check it out. Let's see. That's all that's cooking over here. It's really good to hear everybody. Appreciate your patience as we switched rigs, and now we're back switched again to the Flex. So hopefully the PC will continue to purr along. But everything was fine with the Flex, just the PC program locked up, and that's a problem. So back to you there, Stan. Appreciate it. W4AMI is in for OZI.
Yeah, I never noticed the difference, Alan. That is when you switched. They sound a lot alike. Okay, next up is KN4ME. Dr. John, how are you tonight? Go ahead.
Thanks, Stan. Copying everybody real well. This is KN4 Mike Echo up in Killen, Alabama. Beautiful weather. Was just mowing some grass, and the belt came off the mower, so we have half mowed 2 acres here. But no complaints. Things are going well, and enjoying the copy on everybody. Not much else to add. We had a good pre-net and a pre-net, I guess you would say. With that, I'm going to pass it back to you, Stan. Thanks for doing a good job for us. W4AMI, KN4 Mike Echo.
Okay, Dr. John. Good evening to you. Yeah, hearing a little squealing in the background. Sounds like you've got another receiver running there, Dr. John. But good copy. Okay, next up is Mac, W4AX. Did you figure out what happened? Mac, 2 things. Did you discover what happened? And are you still looking for the 3CX800s? W4AX, W4AMI.
All right, W4AMI, W4AX, thanks. And, well, I didn't really figure out what happened. I checked the overcurrent relay was tripped, and it was not. And so I just powered off the 20V, waited about a minute, powered it back on, and it worked. So that's never happened before. I'll have to keep an eye on it. And on the 3CX800s, Manuel was kind enough to send me a pair, so I'm all set on those. So thanks so much for asking, and thank you and Alan for running the net tonight. Dr. Ron, I have a Globe King 500A that I put on there about every 2 weeks. And I haven't really touched it in 10 years, but if you'd like to confer about anything, I may be able to drag up, to drag up one brain cell about what I found and what I did. Let's see. While we've been working here, I've configured the cameras for remote operation of my second 3CX3000 amplifier. I haven't put it on the air yet. I'm really close, but I want to get cameras on the meters so that I can operate it from inside the shack. Blessings to Amanda, Manuel, if you're copying me, and Kate, Art's wife, N4JK. Was in the hospital for a couple of days. She's back out, but let's still keep her in our thoughts and prayers. W4AMI, W4AX.
Oh, thanks for mentioning that about Kate. Mac wasn't aware of that. Sorry to hear that. Oh boy, that lady's had a bunch of struggles the last few years. Wow. Anyway, thanks, Mac, and got the word on the 3CX800, so we can take that one off the list. Next up is Norm, W7IUC. Good signal down here, Norm, for 40 watts. W4AMI, how you doing tonight? W7IUC. Nope, guess he departed. Okay. Next up is my neighbor. N4AK. The thing sounds good and looks good. Glenn, go ahead. W4AMI.
Okay, W4AMI. And the net, November 4 Alpha Kilo. And like I say, this is the first run of a new old stock, SP221. I had an acquaintance that bought it in 1982, but never finished it. So it does have IMAC tubes in it, and I put some Harbach mods in there just for soft key and a new capacitor bank just to be sure. So I'm driving it tonight with a ICOM 756 Pro 3 with a Heil mic. So hadn't heard Norval check in yet, but that's an old friend, and Stan, good to hear you. And I'll probably have to talk to you on the phone. I'm still having problems with my Johnson 500, so I hadn't found the problem yet. So back to the net. Enjoying here everybody tonight. Most signals are running about 15 over 9. W4AMI in the net. November 4 Alpha Kilo.
Okay, Glenn. Sorry the 500's still sick. Oh boy, that's a complicated one. Yeah, been there, done that. I've got this one sold. I'm waiting for the guy to come and get it. He hasn't. He's gonna be coming down here from Massachusetts one of these days. Anyway, we'll get there. Have room for some more junk down here. This is the Southeastern AM Radio Close Swap and Fellowship Net. Next up is down to Florida. Manuel, KW4 TV. Come on in here, my friend. How you doing? KW4 TV. Ron, would you give Manuel a go and see if maybe propagation?
Okay, KW4 TV from W4AMI. You copy, Manuel? Go ahead.
W4AMI, KW4 TV. I do copy you, and thank you for let me get my tongue back. Relaying the end. I cannot hear Stan at the moment. I was getting bits and pieces of him a while ago, but I lost him. So Stan, my apologies. Maybe the conditions will get better. And but anyway, from what I've heard most everybody, and everybody was sounding good. But Stan, thank you so much for checking me in and just letting me be a part of this job.
I got it, Ron.
Enjoy it. Thank the world of everybody that's on it, and continue making it net and making it grow. So with all of that, I'll turn it back over to you, Stan, and again,
Okay, Manuel, gotcha. You're about between 5 and 10 over 9, Manuel, so I don't, just strange conditions. And John got you on the list. I heard you, John, got you on the list also. K4VZS. Okay, next up is Lenny, W4 or K4HUM. Go ahead, Lenny.
Yeah, W4AMI. I believe that's what the net we're on. K4HUM. Doggone, it's good to be out here, and thank Mr. Brown for the flowers. I'm kind of on a different rig. My FT1000 Mark V kind of got its front end kind of blown out with a kind of a glancing blow from I think from some lightning. Yeah, it could be some problems, but so I'm operating on a FT 920, which is really just a little brother to the 1000, and running the Alpha 78 and it's a little German fan dipole. It's four different length legs, and each one of them has its own little tri-oiled over. I can't even talk anyway. Its own little balun, potato. Anyway, just a kind of update on what's going on here, and I'm hearing everybody just fine. Great net there, Stan. Thanks a lot for calling it, and again, Alan, thanks for the pre-net. Catch y'all in a little while. I'll be listening for the rest of the net. K4HM, back to W4AMI.
Sounds good, amigo.
Thank you, Lenny. Thank you much. Good copy. Sounds good. It actually sounds better than the other rig did, Lenny. So maybe a good thing's happened there, huh? Okay, next up we're going to go back down to Pensacola and see how we'll do with Richard. W4WFL, go ahead. W4AMI, over. Okay, Richard. W4WFL. Good to hear you. Good man, Richard. Good man. Love you. Thanks for checking in. Okay, next up, everybody turn your gain down. W4LJ, your transmission. Virgil, how you doing? W4AMI, over.
W4AMI. This is W4OLJ. Well, okay, Stan. Doing pretty good now. I just barely made it here. I went to town this afternoon in my old truck. I've got an old 65 Ford truck that was my dad's truck. It's a really nice old truck, but I started back and that thing quit. I mean, it just quit dead in a hammer. I was driving along about 50, I guess, and it just shut off. And so I got out, and 2 or 3 people stopped there right away and tried to help me. And I don't know, some guy, he said it was a coil. So we were close to the Napa store, got a coil, didn't have it, wouldn't start. And then we just wiped off the points. I don't know, we should have done that first. We kind of went about it backwards, I guess, but wiped those points off. And I don't know what was on them, but it run good, and I just barely made it here for the net. So that's my story. But anyway, good to hear everybody. And like Bob said, the Knoxville Hamfest is this coming Saturday, and everybody come that can, that's close enough. Pretty good little Hamfest most of the time. So back to you, Stan. You're doing a great job and sounding good over here. W4AMI, W4OLJ.
Okay, Virgil. Wow. Had a mosquito stuck on the points, maybe, huh? Anyway, glad you got home. Virgil, do you ever go over to the Waynesville swap? Go ahead.
Well, I have been, Stan, but it's been a long time, and I think it has really grown some since I've been over there. That's what I hear anyway, that it's turned into a really good Hamfest. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. My wife and I have been up there. Joan and I have been up there a number of times. I trust we'll be going up. Going up there next month as well. And kind of a good friend of ours has some tables right on the main walkway in there. It's a good spot. So, and I usually carted something along and ended up not having to bring it home. So it's been a successful one. It's good swap. Good people up there. Okay, thank you, Virgil. Good to hear you. I'm glad you got the Ford running. Take care. Next up, and we'll take this. I'm at the bottom, getting to the bottom of the list here, and then we'll take a standby. John, K4VZS. Hope you're hearing me okay. W4AMI. Go ahead. Ron, do it again.
Alrighty, K4VZS. John, K4VZS, WB4GWA. It's your turn.
Solid copy, John. Good to hear you tonight. Thank you for checking in. This is the Southeast AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net. We will take a standby for latecomers. Okay, I got that time around, W4IDD and WA4III. Anybody else? Okay, Roy, good timing. Come on in, make a transmission. W4IDD, W4AMI. Okay, Roy. Solid copy. W4IDD, W4K. Well, it was right kind of you to check in tonight, Roy. Good to hear you, and solid copy, as I said. Well, this is about the time things do start getting a little bit better. Glad that happens, too. Okay, next up is Greg, WA4III. How are you tonight, sir? Go ahead.
W4AMI, and that's just W4III. Well, late checking in. I've only been in here, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. Been working on some equipment. Had to do some repairs on the old Collins S line, and I've got one of the receivers up listening on it tonight. And then I had to make a
daughter's got married and was still moving stuff from her house to her and her husband's house, so been doing some of that. And also working outside too. So it's been kind of busy. Apologize for being late. I missed it last night. Having to work outside. Glad to be here. And after doing a day's hard work, Roy says he hopes everybody feels too low. So I hope he got looking as bad as I feel sometimes after one of these a hard day work. So anyway, getting into the net. This is W4 out.
Okay, Glenn. Coach. Okay, Greg. Glad to have you tonight. Thank you for joining us. This is the Southeastern AM Radio Club Swap and Net. Standby time. Anybody wanting to join? Come on in. Did I hear W4OP?
Roger, Stanley. W4OP. How copy?
Okay, just fine. Good evening to you. Okay, anybody else? Nope, that's it. Okay. My neighbor to the north up there over the state line. How you doing tonight? W4OP in the net, W4AMI.
Yeah, very good, Stan. W4AMI, W4OP, name is Dan, and it's been a while. I just listening here tonight. I'm not on the Elecraft K4, but I thought we need to be institutionalized, but I'm trying to work a deal here on a Gonset G76 and power supply. So good to hear you, Stan, and I won't hold it, but thanks so much for running in that.
Okay, Dale. Good to hear you. It's been a while. Good solid signal coming down from Cashers. Excuse me, Glendale. Sorry about that. Let's see. Last standby. Anybody else? Okay, nothing heard, so we will wrap the net up at this point. I want to thank everyone who listened, who are normal SWLs or licensed stations that chose to listen. Come on in and join us. Next Tuesday we'll be here. Sam, KF4TXQ will be in net control, and Kevin will be doing his pre-net activity ahead of the net. And Thursday night the Mullets are here. This is W4AMI. Good night.